So you're wondering on how to turn your Android into a gaming phone, and you search through YouTube. Everywhere you'll see videos telling you to do this or install that to magically turn your phone into a gaming phone. Some of those tips work, most of them don't. In this video, I'm going to be direct with you. I'm not here to chase views, I'm here to tell you the truth on how to actually turn your Android into a real gaming phone. And it will always conclude to these three aspects: performance, stability, thermal control. If you want to truly optimize all these three on a single device, you have to root your phone. If you already own a proper gaming phone like the Red Magic 11 Pro, Poco F series, IQ, or like the Poco X7 Pro, Infinix GT series, this can perform well out of the box. But if you're on a budget device, your last option would be to root your phone. You can't get stable high frame rate gaming on a MediaTek Gen 99 with 4GB RAM and eMMC storage, no matter what you do, and this is not an opinion. Rather, this is hardware limitation. So don't fall for those no root gaming boost videos. Maybe watch carefully, but often they will not work. What you actually need is root access. I have already made videos showing how to unlock your bootloader and how to root safely, but in this video, I will explain why doing such thing is necessary and how it helps you achieve real performance, real stability, and controlled thermals. If your goal is to truly turn your Android into a gaming phone, this is where it starts. Suggestion 1. Custom ROM. First of all, you don't need root to install custom ROM. What you only need is unlocked bootloader, and I've already made a video about it, so go check it out. Stock ROM are not optimized for performance. Yes, it might on some decent phones, but if you have a low-end phone, the stock ROM will limit its performance because it comes with aggressive background restrictions, heavy system services you can disable, telemetry and analytics running 24/7, and thermal throttling. A good custom ROM strips away that bloat and gives you a cleaner, lighter Android system, and that alone reduces CPU load, lowers RAM usage, and improves frame time consistency, even without those gaming tweaks. Now, in my channel, I am covering a lot of tutorials about installing a GSI, but if you have a phone which is popular or you have a Snapdragon ones, make sure you install a custom ROM, not a GSI, because GSI is compatible for all devices. It might cause some bugs. Unlike custom ROM, they are made truly for your phone only. You can check YouTube or Telegram groups for your device to install a custom ROM, but if I have time, I will create tutorials for it. However, let me be clear about one thing. A custom ROM does not magically turn low-end hardware into a flagship. If your device has a weak CPU cores, slow storage, or limited RAM, a ROM can only optimize what's already there. It improves efficiency, not the power itself. Anyway, suggestion 2. Disable thermal throttling. With root access like Magisk or kernel SU, Patch, or whatever, you can install a module that disables thermal throttling. Here, for example, is a thermal module made exactly for my phone, and you can get a lot like this through, again, Telegram or YouTube and Google. So research is your friend. Android phones are designed to throttle. The moment your CPU or GPU temperature crosses a predefined threshold, the system immediately lowers their performance, sometimes aggressively, to protect the hardware. For many, this sounds good, but in gaming, it causes sudden FPS drops, frame time spikes, inconsistent performance during long session. You start a game at high FPS, then 5 minutes later, performance collapses. It is not because the chip is weak, but because thermal limits kick in. So, when you disable thermal throttling, the CPU maintains higher frequency for longer. Gaming, the GPU stops downclocking mid-game. Frame pacing becomes consistent. FPS stable instead of fluctuating. In other words, you are removing the artificial ceiling that the manufacturer imposed. But then again, thermal throttling exists for a reason. If you completely disable it without understanding the consequences, you can 1. Overheat your device, 2. Accelerate battery degradation, 3. Trigger emergency shutdowns, and 4. Reduce long-term hardware lifespan. This is why you must not treat thermal disabling modules as install and forget. The correct approach is controlled thermal management. So in my suggestion tree, external phone cooler. In mobile gaming, heat is your real enemy. At that point, software alone is no longer enough. Well, you could try playing in front of electric fan, or if you have AC, then play in a well-maintained cool environment. But if you wanna be serious, or like you want to play serious playing games on mobile, then start saving for a cooler. This is where an external phone cooler makes a real difference. When your phone overheats, the problem isn't just the CPU or GPU, it's the battery temperature and the internal heat saturation. Pumiyok pa. But anyway, an external cooler actively pulls heat away from the back of the phone, reducing internal temperature faster than passive cooling ever could. With the proper phone cooler, CPU and GPU can sustain higher clocks. Thermal throttling is delayed or avoided. FPS stays consistent during long sessions, and touch responsiveness remains stable. This is especially important when disabling or like installing a thermal throttling module. Without external cooling, your phone will simply hit emergency shutdown temperature faster. In my case, I'm using the Black Shark Fan Cooler 5 Pro, but there are many cheap coolers that does the same. It works the same and may be decent too, but investing in a phone cooler is a must. But then again, an external cooler does not increase raw performance. It allows your phone to hold its maximum performance longer. If your device is weak, a cooler won't make it powerful, but it will prevent early throttling and unstable frame rate. Also, external cooling is not optional. So if you're serious about gaming on a budget device, you have to invest in a cooler. And my last suggestion would be performance module. Now, I tackled gaming modules a while ago, so be sure to check that out. Performance module like Encore and CPU managers like Franco Kernel Manager don't magically make your hardware stronger. What they do is they give you direct control over how your hardware behaves. With the right configuration, you can lock or prioritize high performance CPU clusters, adjust CPU governors for sustained loads, control GPU frequency scaling, reduce aggressive downclocking during gameplay, improve frame time consistency. Modules like Encore apply system level optimization that remove unnecessary limits and background behavior. When paired with Go Good ROM, these tweaks actually stick instead of being overridden by the system. So I suggest you turn off like your game booster or any stock booster when installing modules like this because it will overridden by the system. Tools like Franco Kernel Manager go even deeper. They allow you to tune CPU frequencies per cluster, modify schedulers' behavior, adjust GPU boost and throttling behavior, balance performance versus heat manually. This is where you stop relying on auto, like on Encore, and start making deliberate performance decisions. But remember this, performance modules are powerful tools, not shortcuts. Use them last, use them carefully, and they will give you the best gaming experience your hardware. And so to wrap this up, turning a regular phone into a gaming phone isn't about magic apps or fake boosts. It comes down to these four things. 1. A clean ROM, custom ROM preferably, proper thermal control, real external cooling, and finally, controlled performance tuning through Magisk or kernel managers. This isn't about pretending budget hardware as a flagship. It's about extracting stable, usable performance from what you already have, safely and realistically. If you're not willing to root, tune, and manage thermal, that's fine. Just don't expect miracles from no root tweaks. And if you're willing to do it properly, this is the most honest path there is. That's all.